Hello, I'm Dr. Alethea Varra, and I'm one of the regular contributors to Mindfulness magazine. I'm excited that this first issue is focusing on the question of what is mindfulness. It's a very basic question, but it's actually pretty complicated to answer. Mindfulness practice impacts everyone a little bit differently. But for me, mindfulness is really about awareness and choice. In terms of awareness, for all of us, there's part of our experience that is being lived here in this moment. We're aware of our emotions and our thoughts and our physical sensations. We're aware of our history and our values and our hopes for the future. Wherever we've been and wherever we're going, we start here. Now the hard part is that very few of us actually live here. Most of us spend a great deal of time in one of two other places. One is the past. It could be as simple as replaying a conversation we had with a coworker this morning, or remembering one of those precious moments that we've had with a friend. Or it could be complicated, like trying to work through betrayal by someone we love, or loss, or even trauma. But whatever the case, we tend to spend a lot of time thinking about events of the past. It may sound something like, I wonder what he meant when he said that, or did I really do that in public, or gosh, I wonder what would have happened if I could have, or if I would have. And the other place we tend to spend a lot of time is in the future. And like the past, the future isn't all bad. That's where we hang our hopes, our dreams, our plans. We may wonder what our child is going to be like when they grow up. We may think about our goals and our values and what might move us in that direction. And possibly, because the future does offer so many possibilities, it is often where we hang our anxiety and our worry. It may sound something like, gosh, I hope my talk goes well tomorrow, or what should I make for dinner, or I wonder what they want to talk to me about. Is this going to work? And we're not always in one place or the other. We tend to slide back and forth in and out of the past and the future, but we're rarely planted here in the present. And that's not all, because it's not really all about time, is it? On top of this time thing is our experience of our own emotion. And sometimes our emotions tend to come on very strong. Again, this can feel both positive and negative. Sometimes our emotions are strong because we're filled with joy or love. You may know somebody who's been so crazy in love that they've done a lot of things that maybe they wouldn't have done otherwise. Or maybe it wasn't love. Maybe it's anger or sadness. When the emotion seems to take over, when the emotion seems to be the one in the driver's seat in making the decisions, it's very easy to feel lost. Or maybe it's the opposite end of the spectrum. Maybe there's no emotion at all. Now, sometimes no emotion is normal. I wouldn't expect you to feel a lot of emotion if you're sweeping the kitchen floor or playing Angry Birds or balancing your checkbook. But sometimes it's not quite the logical rote tasks that we're talking about. Sometimes it's more like shutting down or choosing not to feel, avoiding the reality of our own experience and our own emotion. And the tricky part about all of this is that it all feeds off of each other. We may start by thinking about a loss in the past, and the sadness creeps in, and the sadness is uncomfortable, so maybe we shut down a little bit. And maybe we start to worry that this may happen again, and the anxiety shoots up. And it goes round and round and round. And in the meantime, we're spending very little time here in the present. And here is what I call the sweet spot. This is the place where we are aware of those emotions, not overwhelmed, but not numb, just aware. And we are aware of that history and how it has influenced who we are today. And we are aware of that future and the values that we hold. And we are aware of all of them, but not lost in them. The place where we can hold all of that awareness and still be present with where we are now, that is mindfulness, right here, this sweet spot. And the reason that this is so important to me is about choice. It is easy to get so busy and caught up taking care of the things that we need to do today, or worried about what might happen tomorrow, or feel caged in by what has happened in the past, that we can forget that in this moment and in every moment ahead of it, that we have a choice. I have a choice as to what I do in this moment and what kind of person I want to be in this moment. And my emotions may try to push me around a little bit and pretend that they're in charge. But from this sweet spot, I can acknowledge that emotion, that fear or that sadness. I can acknowledge it for what it is. It's an emotion. And still choose to do the things that take me in the direction of my values. But without the mindfulness, there is no choice. We're just going through the motions. But in my life, and in the lives of the people I work with, choice is key. And I remind myself to choose through my practice of mindfulness.